Hello and welcome everyone to the Club Officer Training on Demand module for the role of Vice President Public Relations. I want to first congratulate each and every one of you who have stepped up to take on the role of VPPR for your club this year. This is an amazing role and you are in for a treat and you have ample opportunities to learn how to explore the world of promotion and social media. A little about myself. I joined Toastmasters in 2021, and social media or promotion was something which was a very distant reality for me. To let you in on a secret, my first social media account, Facebook, was created by a few of my friends. That is how distant I was with the world of social media. And once I joined Toastmasters 3 years ago, I got the opportunity to be the VP Public Relations of my club for the last 2 years. And it has been an amazing experience for me. There was no looking back. Although I was completely new to this role, there were a lot of resources that was available for me, a lot of people whom I could reach out to for help, for guidance. And that has helped me learn a lot through the role of Vice President Public Relations. So I invite all of you to join me on this journey of how to be a good VP PR for your club. I'm going to be showing you a few tips and tricks that I learned over the last 2 years in my role of VP PR for my club, as well as I played the role of social media chair for District 3 for the last 2 years. This is what we are going to be covering in today's session. We're going to talk about what is the role of VPPR, what are the various responsibilities, and most importantly, what are the resources available for you to succeed in your role as VPPR. So whether you're a new officer or you've played the role in the past, there is ample amount of resources there. And a special note to those of you who are taking on this role for the first time, if you are like me who didn't have much idea about promotion and social media, do not worry. There is a lot of resources over there. There is a lot of support that you can get to succeed in your role. For the role of VPPR, the primary focus area for you is going to be how can you promote your club effectively? How do you bring guests to join your meetings? And you are going to be the face of your club, the voice of your club. You are going to be the one who's going to communicate with anyone outside your club to share what is the unique feature that your club stands for. And that is how you are going to be able to help build your club by drawing in guests to join your meetings. So this is the primary focus area for you as a VPPR. Looking at what are the responsibilities of a VPPR, you have some responsibilities during club meetings, you have some to be performed outside club meetings, and you do play a key role in the executive committee as well. Just like all the other officers, the president, the vice president education, vice president membership, you as a vice president public relations, the treasurer, secretary, and sergeant-at-arms. All 7 of you form the executive committee or the leadership team for your club. So you have a crucial role to play in the executive committee as well. A little deep dive into each of these areas. During club meetings, what are some of the things that the responsibilities that you need to keep in mind? Any promotional material that your club needs to put out there, if it's an in-person meeting and if you're going to be having guests visit you for your in-person meeting, it is your primary responsibility to order and distribute these promotional material to the guests. And if you're running any promotional campaigns, for example, if your club is planning for an open house, in the next month. So you could discuss about what is the promotional campaign that you are planning for that open house during one of your club meetings. That way you can ensure that you get the support from your entire club and all of you collectively plan the open house meeting to draw in more guests. A very good idea to get promotional ideas is from your own club members. No one other than your club members know truly what your club stands for. Each of the Toastmasters clubs out there has a unique value that they bring in. And who else to know it better than you and your club members? So I encourage you to lean on your club members, draw from them their inspirations of why they want to continue in your club, and get promotional ideas from them. Because member testimonials is something that speaks volumes for what your club stands for. And if you have any results or report that you want to present to your club based on some of the recent promotional campaign that you did, you can make use of the opportunity of a club meeting to present that report to your club members. What are some of the responsibilities that you need to take care of outside the club meeting or leading to the club meeting? It is important that you ensure that all the contact information that is available on the website is up to date for your club, because this is where guests will try to contact and reach out to you if they would like to visit your club for a meeting. So it is super important that you ensure that the club website has got the right contact information, the right meeting information as to how often you meet and which are the days that you meet. So all that information should be up to date in the website, and that is what shows up on the Find a Club page when guests try to reach out to. And make sure that all the information about your club is accurate on your various social media platforms as well. So some of you might have a presence only on Facebook, whereas some others might have a presence on the social media platform called LinkedIn. So irrespective of which social media your club has a account on, make sure that your club information and contact information is accurate on that. The next super important responsibility is that you respond promptly to any questions or requests from guests. This is something I hear quite often when I meet other VPPRs. Some of them tend to miss out on promptly responding to the requests that they receive from members, from guests. And what happens is, if I, as a guest, try to reach out to, let's say, 3 or 4 clubs through the Find a Club option, and one club responds to me in a matter of a day or two, I would tend to gravitate towards that club rather than some other club who takes weeks to respond to my question. So that is why it is very important that you respond to any of the contact us emails that you receive from guests in a prompt manner. I would suggest at least within 1 or 2 days should be the timeline that you take to respond to them, and not longer than that. And finally, promote all the membership programs that you are planning for your club. You can make use of all the different social media platforms. You can make use of a newsletter. You can make use of flyers that you would want to post in some premises if you are meeting in a in-person venue. So whichever format that your club is meeting, whether it is in-person, completely online, or hybrid, choose which is the most apt promotional format for you and make sure that you promote your programs through that format. The executive committee, as I mentioned earlier, you are part of the executive committee along with the club officers, along with the other club officers. So it is very important that you play your active role in the committee meetings as well. So anything to do with promotions, anything to do with public relations, you are responsible to share the results or share the report on any of the campaigns that you are doing to the other club officers. Till now, we saw what are some of the responsibilities that you need to play as a vice president public relations for your club. Now we're going to be focusing on how do you go about doing all these responsibilities. So some of the first few things that you need to keep in mind. You as a VPPR is the brand ambassador of your club. So it is very important that you are the safekeeper of your club's information, and any communication that goes out to the public from your club should be through you, the voice and the face of the club. So first, you need to make sure that all the contact information of the club is accurate on Club Central, because that is what shows up on the Find a Club page. Then if you have a website for your club, you have to make sure that your information is accurate there. And in Toastmasters, we have the provision of creating a club website through free Toast host. So your club can create your own website through the free Toast host provided by Toastmasters International. And you can host all your club related information on that particular website. Or if you choose to create your own website, that's also completely fine. And if any social media pages that you have, you need to ensure that you have the right contact information over there. And most importantly, you need to make sure it's the same information across all platforms and you don't have different information on these different platforms. Then responding to a timely manner to the contact us emails that you receive from guests. The third point here, which is very, very important, is we as public relation vice presidents need to know what is that one unique value that our club provides to its members and guests, which is, but that's the reason why we have members joining us. So to give you an example, one of the clubs that I am part of, the unique value that we try to, the focus that we have is to make sure that we start practicing longer format speeches. That way, we are trying to develop our presentation and communication skills to be able to deliver a keynote address or a longer presentation. So it is important that you as VPPR know what is that unique value that your club stands for. And that is what you need to include in all your promotional content. Because when someone joins your meeting, they need to know what is that feature that they will get when they join your club. That's why it's very important to know and promote your club's unique value. And you need to ensure that you establish and strengthen the public relation reach. You have various channels to do this. Word of mouth, you can try and invite your friends and colleagues, especially if you're a corporate club. You can try and invite your team members, your managers, the new joinees who join your organization. Then the second way in which you can strengthen your public relation reach is by conducting membership building events. And to give you an example, open house is a very good example of a membership building event. So I highly encourage your club to conduct open houses, and you can decide how frequently you want to conduct it. I know certain clubs try to conduct one every 3 or 4 months. Some of them conduct twice a year, and some of them maybe once a year. So it depends on what is what your club would like to do, how frequently you would want to bring in guests. That is what will decide how often you need to conduct the open house. And to promote any special such club events that you have, like an open house, you can go and add an event on our district calendar. And once you add an event, that's going to be added on to the district calendar. That way, it is accessible to everyone, and others who would like to join in for your open house can RSVP and join in for your club open house events as well. And finally, having an active social media presence will help you extend your public relations reach. This is a little bit about open houses. It is important, as I said, to conduct open houses because that is where you can have a complete focus on bringing in guests to your meetings. And to plan an open house, this is something that you as a VPPR will be partnering with the Vice President membership to conduct. And yes, lean on your entire club. Try to bring in as much support that you can get from your club when you plan an open house. So between you and the Vice President membership, both of you would be taking the lead to organize an open house and make sure that an open house meeting shows a true representation of what your club stands for. So if your club is known to have fun and lively meetings, let your open house reflect that, because the guests will be able to get a good understanding of what your club stands for, what is the unique value that you bring in. Make sure you provide handouts of the agenda, explain roles and Toastmasters terminologies. This is very important because for a guest, for a layman, sometimes it takes them some time to get familiar with the Toastmasters terminologies. So if you were to say topics master, or if you were to say a grammarian, it's important that we explain what those roles are when we have such special club events. Make your guests feel comfortable and welcomed by explaining these roles to them so that they also feel a part of the meeting. And very importantly, to engage with guests after the meeting so that if they have any questions, if they want to know more about your club, that is a good opportunity for you and your other club members to discuss with the guests. About having a active social media presence, this talks about how often should we post on social media. And my answer to that is, the more we are able to promote content, that is when we have more engagement. That is when we are able to get more responses from the public. Now, if you're a corporate club, you don't have to wonder as to where am I going to promote. You could use your internal channel. So every organization has got some internal messenger system or internal bulletin boards. You can use those as well to promote, or you might have a corporate Facebook page where you can promote. And if you're a community club, you have various options where you can promote. You can use as many social media platforms that you want to promote about your club. So my suggestion would be to promote as often as you can. At least about 2 to 3 times a week is what is recommended. Because if I were to give you an example, let's say I'm a guest who's trying to look for a Toastmasters club to join, and I look up a club on Facebook, and I notice that they haven't posted on their Facebook page for over a year. And on the other hand, I see another club whose Facebook page is quite active and they post at least 2 or 3 times every week. I would naturally gravitate towards a second club because I know, okay, they are active, they are maintaining an active presence, and that is where that it can be a differentiating factor for you. So the more active your social presence is, that's when you have a higher chance of people landing on your page and people responding to some of your social media posts. And to be able to do this in an efficient manner, I would recommend that you have a calendar in place, something for you to just keep a track of. And you can, to make it easier for you, you can try to come up with a certain plan. I can give you an example here. So for one of my clubs, when I was a VPPR, what I used to do in the form of a calendar is I had something like a word of the week on every Mondays. And on Wednesdays, I used to do a member testimonial. And on Fridays, I used to do a quote of the week. So that way, I was able to post 3 times a week. And I built in some templates, some standard templates for each of these. That way, it made my life so much easier. I just had to go in and just change the content on it, whereas the template would be the same. So it meant I didn't have to create new designs every time. I just tried to reuse some of those templates. And I'll show you a little bit about that in the subsequent slides. But the bottom line is having a calendar and having a communication plan in place is definitely going to help you to have an active social media presence. And make sure that you use technology. There's a lot of tools out there. An example is the Meta Business Suite, which is the tool that you can use to schedule your posts on both Facebook and Instagram at the same time. So rather than you having to do it in two different places, through the Meta Business Suite, you can post on both these platforms at one go. So it makes your life so much easier. And there are several other such tools available. Some of them will be paid tools, but Meta is a free tool. So you can go ahead, if as long as your club has a Facebook and an Instagram page, you can use the Meta Business Suite and promote on those two platforms at one go. If possible, try to have maybe another one person or a couple more members to help you in all these social media promotions. You can form a small team if required. And make sure that you try and use as many of these different platforms that are available. There's a whole lot of them. I have just shown some of the most prominent ones over here. Facebook and Instagram are two very prominent pages. LinkedIn is a very prominent page when it comes to connecting with the professional network. Then you have TikTok is a very good platform if you want to promote content, which is the nature of short videos, like 1 minute videos. Those are very catchy on the TikTok platform, on Twitter as well. Pinterest is where you used for lead generation. So once you post something on Pinterest, that you can redirect that to some of your other social media pages or your website. So Pinterest is a very good lead generation platform. So each of these platforms have got their own unique features. So you can see which one works best for your club's promotion, and accordingly you can use that. Meetup again is a very good platform where people join Meetup to try and find groups of similar interests, groups which are similar to your hobbies. So that is a very good platform where if people join in and are looking out for some groups which is related to communication skills or public speaking or leadership skills, they will eventually find the different clubs that host their events on Meetup. And that is one good way to get guests to join your meetings. And in addition to all these social media platforms, you can make use of other uh, uh, provisions like newsletters. Many clubs have got their own newsletter that they promote and they publish, and they get a lot of readers through those newsletters, and some of them join their club meetings. You can have blogs as well. So whatever works well for your club, whatever suits the audience or the guests that you would like to attract, you can accordingly make use of the platform. We spoke about the different platforms. Now, it might have looked like a lot where I said you have to post 2 to 3 times a day, and there are these several platforms. So you might wonder, how do I go about creating so much content? So that is where there are a few tips and tricks for us. You can look for inspiration for content on the net itself, on Pinterest. Pinterest is a very good platform where you can get ideas from for you to create content. I'm not telling you to copy paste as is, but it'll be a good place for you to draw inspiration from. Likewise, now we have AI, we have ChatGPT, which is a good platform where you can try to generate some ideas for what kind of content you would like to put out there. So there is a lot of places from where you can draw inspiration. You can follow the district page because there's a lot of content on the district page, and Some of those you can see if it is applicable to your club, you can try to repost or reshare from the district page as well, from the Toastmasters International social media pages. So it's a good idea, and I strongly encourage all of you as VPPRs to follow your district's social media pages and Toastmasters International's social media pages, because that way you are up to date on what all is happening, what is being posted out there, and whichever you can reuse, like some of the incentives or some of the membership building campaigns like Beat the Clock or uh, let's say Smedley campaign, all of those, maybe some of it you can reuse from your district page or from the Toastmasters International page. You can repost some of those. Make your life easy through templates. So you can, whichever is the content designing tool you're using. So the one that I use predominantly is Canva. And that's something I recommend to all of you, because Canva is a very easy to use tool, and it has a lot of very unique features that is helpful for us as VPPRs. So in Canva, there are a whole bunch of templates that are available, and you can use some of these templates so that you don't have to recreate design from the scratch. And it is very important to remember that while you create all this content, you have to maintain the brand guidelines. The brand manual is available on the Toastmasters website. I highly, highly encourage all of you to go through the brand manual before you take on your role as a vice president public relations, because it's better to know what are the brand guidelines like, what are the do's and don'ts, so that anything that you design, anything that you post is going to be brand compliant. And the whole reason why we have this brand guidelines is to make sure that we have a uniform branding across all the Toastmasters club across the globe. So that is why we have this brand guidelines to help us have that uniform branding experience. Content creation tools, as I mentioned, Canva is an amazing tool. Some of you, if you are comfortable with Microsoft PowerPoint, you could use that. Some of you who prefer using Adobe, or some of you like to use Photoshop. Whichever tool you are comfortable with, you can go ahead and use that. I personally use Canva because I find there's a lot of templates and a lot of things that are easily accessible there. So if you've not yet used Canva, you could take a look at it. All Toastmasters clubs, because we're a non-profit, there is a provision for us to submit the non-profit letter and get a discount for the Canva premium login. And once you have that, then you can explore and see how Canva works. There is a whole bunch of Canva tutorials that's available on the net. So you can, if you're new to Canva, you can take a look at it, and that will help you learn more about the Canva features. And it is very important that any content that we create, that we tailor the content to suit the respective platform. To give you an example, Facebook and LinkedIn might, for certain posts, they might use a different image size. It could be a rectangular image size. Whereas in Instagram, if it is an Instagram post, it's more likely going to be a square image size. If it's an Instagram reel, it's going to be a longitudinal size. So depending on which platform you are going to post, the content also will vary based on that. And in Canva, when you design content, you can choose the appropriate the post that you would like to do. So if you want to create an Instagram post, you have the option of selecting a template design, which is in line with the dimensions of the Instagram post. And likewise for LinkedIn, for Facebook, for each of these platforms, you have the design size or the dimensions accordingly in Canva. Now, one tip I would like to share with all of you here is, if you do not want to create the same design in multiple dimensions just to suit the different platforms, what I do and what helps me is I try to create all my content in the Instagram post, which is a 1080 into 1080 size. And I found that this square image is something that is suitable to most of the platforms. So be it Facebook, be it LinkedIn, be it Instagram, it's easy to use this particular 1080 into 1080 across several platforms. So if you want to use just one dimension or of the content, then I would suggest you to use the Instagram post. Little more on Canva. So I did talk about templates. I said that try to use templates as much as possible to make your life easy so that you don't have to create designs from scratch. There is a feature called Bulk Create in Canva. It is one of the apps available in Canva. So once you are using this Bulk Create, all you need to do is pick up one template that you like. So here I've given the example of the word of the week that I used to post every Monday for my club. So I just created one standard template and with a Toastmasters logo and the club name and the contact information. And all you need to do in this bulk feature is just plug in the word and the definition or the meaning of the word. And once you do that, it'll create multiple copies of the same thing. And if you want, you can go change the design in the background, like what I have done here. But this is a very good way to make your life easier by reusing some of the templates for these periodic posts that you put out there. So whether it is a weekly word of the week or whether it is a weekly quote or your meeting themes that you have every week. So any of these repeating or recurring posts, I would suggest that you use this bulk create feature to make your life much easier. Some of the other ideas that you can think of when you are looking for content creation is try and add variety in the content that you create. Try to spice it up by adding that variety. So you can look at different formats in which you can promote content. Some of it could be flyers, some of it could be short videos or reels, as we call it. And each platform supports a different kind of media. For example, Instagram and TikTok primarily support or they feature a lot of these short videos, the 1 minute videos, which are called reels. Whereas LinkedIn or maybe Facebook might have more of a flyer format of posts. So it is important that as VPPR, we understand which is the format that goes well on each platform and tailor our content in line with that. You can also look at adding different perspectives to your post. So some of the things that have worked well for clubs where they can get maximum traction is through member testimonials. We did talk about this earlier, where we said no one knows better about your club than you and other members. So when you are able to share your stories, what brought you to Toastmasters, what made you continue in this club in Toastmasters, those stories can be very inspiring to others out there who are looking for similar experiences. Each of us joined Toastmasters for different reasons. Some of us joined to make our communication skills better or presentation skills more enhanced. And some of us might have joined to develop our leadership skills. Some of us might have joined for the networking and to have the social connect. Irrespective of the reason that we joined, when we are able to communicate our story through these member testimonials, we are able to draw more guests to our meetings who are looking for similar experiences. So that is a very good platform for you to showcase your members. It's where you are able to draw in more guests through their testimonials. And you can choose how you want to do it. An example I have shown on this slide is just a simple flyer where I have showcased some of our member testimonials. You can also create a 1 minute video. You can just take your phone and take a 1 minute video of them asking them why they join Toastmasters and why they stay in Toastmasters, or what they like best about your club and your club meetings. And once you have that, you can post it as a video reel also on Instagram and on YouTube, on TikTok as shorts or reels. The only thing we need to remember here is that you need to get consent from the member before you use their or before you post their video on any social media platform. That is super important that we get member consent before we post their information. Even if it is a quote from them or it is a video that you've captured, you need to make sure that you get their consent. Another thing that you can do to create content is talk about a member and club recognition. So if any of your members, as and when they achieve their level completion or a path completion, or it even could be some achievement outside Toastmasters as well, someone who's done well at work because of the impact Toastmasters created for them. So there are several ways in which you can celebrate your members, maybe their birthdays, maybe their anniversaries or a work promotion. So depending on what your club likes, you can look at different avenues to recognize your club. If your club collectively has achieved something, if you've become a distinguished club, that is something you can promote on social media, and you can tell what led what was instrumental in your club becoming distinguished. So all those things also can attract the guests out there in the public. And finally, if there are any celebrations or events that you are hosting as a club, those are also good opportunities for creating content in social media. So if you have a holiday party or a holiday themed club meeting, you can promote that and invite guests to join you for a holiday themed club meeting, and you can ask them to come dressed up in the holiday style, and that way you can add more engagement to your posts. One thing I like to do, and this is something I learned from a few others, initially the posts that I was creating were very simple, where I didn't have too much pictures. It was just more a text message of what I wanted to communicate. And later I learned that when we use the appropriate images, appropriate pictures, we are able to connect better with guests. So that is when I started using the appropriate pictures for some of my posts. And Canva again has got a whole format of different pictures that are available. So if you search for specific keywords in the Canva page, it'll show you what all pictures and animations are available for the particular meeting theme that you're wanting to promote. So that way you can add more pictures, like the one in this one where we say, we love new members. Just seeing that picture of the person smiling draws me towards that particular post. So it'll be good to use the appropriate pictures for your posts. And if you have your own club members pictures, like a meeting, club meeting picture, a group photo that you have of all of you at a club meeting, please feel free to use those. Just make sure you get consent from the club members, and you can use those, because that will also be a good way to show to the public what your club stands for and how much fun you have at your meetings, and that will also draw them towards your meetings. Likewise, even trying to use animation in some of the posts that you create, that is also a good way to attract or get more eyeballs onto your posts. We've been talking about content. How do we create, how do we generate content, and the different ideas that we can look at. Now, the most important aspect is, no matter how much content you put out there on social media, if you don't have the right kind of engagement, then you're not able to achieve your goal. So how do we go about getting the right kind of engagement? And that is where I go back to the point of leaning on your club members. All of you collectively as a club have to play an active role when you want to get guests to join your meetings. So to give you an example, if you as a VPPR are being quite diligent about posting uh, on your club's Facebook page on a weekly basis, but if it's only you who's posting on that page, and if there is no other traction, no one else is commenting, then it's difficult to get a wider reach on social media. And all these social media platforms, the model in which they work or the algorithm on which they work is the more traction, that is, more number of likes, more number of shares, more number of reposting, comments, all this will help you get a wider reach. So that is why it is very important that you encourage your club members to engage with the posts that you are putting up on social media. It could be a simple like, it could be if they're able to share it or repost it, you get that many more people who are seeing that post. So that is why it's very important to tag your club members when you're making these posts on social media, and they can further reshare or repost it. Another thing you can do is to have engagement is maybe put up a post where you're asking some trivia question, like the example I've shown you. This was something that we did during Halloween. So just put up a post and say, okay, what is your Halloween bucket list between these four options? Which one do you choose? And have your club members comment on it. So each one can select what is the choice that they would like to make. So that way you are able to get more traction on your social media pages. So even simple things like this, you can have, there are a lot of posts which is like this or that, cats or dogs, are you a morning person or a night owl? Simple trivia questions like that also you can post once in a while to get some engagement on your page. And it'll be great if you can tailor some of those trivia questions to Toastmasters as well. If you can have questions related to what we do at Toastmasters, table topics or prepared speeches, that can be one of the trivia questions that you post. You can also have questions like when you're posting the word of the week, what you could do is tag your club members and ask them to form a sentence using that word of the week. That way, again, you're going to be able to have more engagement on your page. So there are several ways in which you can build engagement, but it is important that you build engagement, because otherwise all the posts that you put out there, it's not gaining the right kind of traction. So that's why I'm emphasizing on the engagement part of it. There are just a few final tips. One, we need to understand our target audience. Whom do we want as guests to visit our club? So you need to tailor your content in line with that. And to give you an example, one of the clubs which we are trying to launch currently is related, or it's focused towards entrepreneurs. So how I would go about promoting content for that particular club is I would hit LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is a professional networking platform. So I would definitely hit LinkedIn to promote content for this entrepreneurial based club that we're trying to launch. Then I would also try to go into some of the Facebook groups which are focused on entrepreneurs. So I'll try to do a little research online and see which are the active Facebook groups for specifically for entrepreneurs. And I'll try to see if I can join those groups and build a conversation over there and let them know what are the benefits or what we can offer through the club that we are trying to launch, which is geared towards entrepreneurs. So it is important that we understand what is the information we want to promote and where do we have to promote, so that it is the right information to the right audience and at the right platform or the right place. So that is very important. Then try to follow the current trends that are there. That way you can stay relevant and engaging with your audience. It's important to have accessible content. So some of the options you can look at is, if you're posting an image, try to use the alt text for that image. That way, if someone's using a screen reader, it'll be easy for them to consume that information using the alt text. And another good practice is, if you have any links, like a registration link to a meeting or any link of such sorts in your image, it's going to be difficult for people to click it, because once you post it as an image, the link on the post is no longer going to be active. So then it is important that you post that link as a description accompanying that image. That way people are able to go and access those links easily. So making your content accessible to people is also very important. And yes, you can use AI, chat GPT, if you want to generate some ideas with respect to what kind of content. Sometimes I use chat GPT to try to get some captivating descriptions for my posts. So there is a lot of scope out there in these AI tools, and you could use some of those as well. We now come to the resources. So we said we will talk about resources because it's very important for each of you as VPPRs to know what are the different resources out there that can enable you and help you succeed. So especially if you're doing this role for the first time, please remember you are not alone. There is a whole bunch of resources out there on the TI website. So this page, if you see, once you log into TI website, you have to go into Leadership Central. Within that, you have the Club Officer tools. And within that, Club Officer roles, where you have all the 7 roles listed and the resources for each of those roles. So if you click on public relations, you will find all these resources, which you see on the right side of the screen. The first one is Let the World Know. So this is a great handbook where it tells you all you need to know about public relations in Toastmasters. It's a very detailed document, so I strongly encourage you to take a look at it because there's a lot that you can learn from this particular document. And then you have a whole bunch of other stuff like sample news releases. Like if your club wants to have a press release about some special event that you're conducting, then if you were looking for some sample or some examples, you can click the sample news releases and you'll be able to find that. Then you have the logos, the images, templates. It's very important that you use the logos as per the brand compliance. So I would encourage you to just take a look at all these links, which is available on the TI website, and you will find a lot of resources through that. Here are some additional resources, and I've highlighted the brand portal because that is the most important document for us as VPPRs. It talks about all the do's and don'ts with respect to what is the font that we need to use, what is the color that we need to use. And there is a reason why we have this. If I were to summarize, it is twofold. One, to make sure that anything that we post is compliant or is unified under the Toastmasters branding. And two, Toastmasters has done a lot of research, and the suggestions they've given us for the font or for the color is to ensure that our content is easily understandable when you're posting things there. So that is why they've selected some specific fonts which helps the reader easily understand the content that you are posting. So this is just a snapshot of just a few pages from the brand manual, and you can go through this in detail. So here are the primary colors that we can use: the true maroon, the loyal blue, and the cool gray. And we have the happy yellow as well as an accent color. The fonts, what are the different fonts that are available? So you have Gotham, Montserrat. So here in Canva, you will find both Gotham and Montserrat. I think initially Gotham was not in Canva. Recently, I've noticed that Gotham is also available in Canva. So you will find both Gotham and Montserrat in Canva. And if you're having any content which is like a press release document or some verbatim document, then you could use the Myriad Pro or the Source Sans Pro. So these are some of the options that you can use when you're creating content, which will be in line with the brand manual. And the brand manual also talks about logos. So as clubs, we should not be creating our logos. We will have to use the standard Toastmasters logo. So you have a separate section in the brand manual which talks about the do's and don'ts with relation to the logo. So As a parting note, I would want to congratulate each one of you once again on taking up this role of Vice President Public Relations. It is a very important role because you are the one who's representing your club to everyone outside the club. So that is a real it's a great responsibility that you have. And you are not alone. You are working as part of a team. You have all your other club officers along with you. So anything that you plan, whether it's an open house or any public relations campaign that you plan, try to lean on your club members, try to get support from your club members, try to get ideas from your club members. You'll be surprised if you sit and discuss with them, you'll get a whole bunch of ideas. That way, collectively as a team, you are able to see how best to promote your club to the public out there and draw as many guests to your club meetings, which is the primary focus of a vice president public relations. So I wish you all the very best for your role. Good luck. Thank you.